Well, hello, hello. Oops. Hey, this is Rose Ostrich Creations today. What's for supper? We're making tonight ground beef casserole with tortilla chips. I have never personally made it myself. I've eaten it several times at friends and companies. So what I'm doing right now is grounding my ground beef. But sadly, this is that 70-30 stuff, so there's a lot of extra grease in it. So once I brown it, I don't want to cook it really bad because it's going to cook in the oven at 350 degrees for like 30 minutes. So I just want to brown it so there's no pink anywhere. And then I'm going to drain it. We've got one of these little grease catcher things. It's a little tin can with a little strainer on it so it gets all the little bits. And it has a little lid. See that? Isn't that cute? So we use that. So that's what I'm going to use to drain my meat. Okay, so we're just about done. Turn my heat off. Let's see if I can do this. I just want to drain the juice only. Oops. There goes my alarm. And that was my alarm to remind me to turn the oven on. So I'm going to turn my oven on. Bake 350. Okay. I don't want to dribble because I don't have enough wrist motion. So I'm going to when this gets a little full, this mesh container, I'm going to put it in my little white strainer that I have here. That's what I like about this. Let me move this over so I don't have too far to go. And it's still going to, meat's still going to drain. And the strainer under my plates underneath it's for any extra drippings. Yeah, no, this is a little extra work. I could do the whole thing and dump it in here and then dump it in there, but it's like, I want to go ahead and leave it in here so that way I can go ahead and get the rest of my prepping done. Because I'm going to use this same pan to saute my onions and my bell peppers. Actually, no, I'm not doing bell peppers because hubby really don't care for them. So we're just going to do, but I'm going to do big chunks of onion so hubby can take them out as he sees them. And because this needs to saute a little bit, that's why you don't want to cook this meat all the way, because you're going to saute the onions and the bell peppers. Not a whole lot. You don't want them to get translucent because they are still going to bake. Okay? But the main thing I'm doing right here, right now, is I'm getting all this excess oil because we don't want that in our finished project. Let me get a wet towel so I can wipe that down. Okay. And while that's draining, let me bring you back over here. What I'm going to do here, let me turn this around so I can see. So now what I'm going to do is prep my onion. And you are going to need about a half a cup. This is about a pound of ground beef. About a half a cup of broth, and I'm using my last, this is just this one jar, I got more in the pantry, of my homemade beef broth. And I'm going to use, I have a red onion. I don't want a whole lot because hubby don't want it, but I want a little bit in there just for flavor because I'm still going to add onion powder and garlic powder anyway. But like I said, I just want it for flavor. So, you know, let me get me small little cutting mat so I can cut this part off. When I store my onion, in my onion keeper. I keep the bottom part on there, and for me it seems to last a lot longer than if I were to peel the whole thing and just put the onion with no skin. So, but again, like I always say, do your own research. You do what's best for you, and then go from there. But this is the way I've been doing it for going on, what, I think it was 18, 20 years now that I've had this onion little keeper thing. And see how I'm making them into big little chunks? And then I'm going to put those in the pan. And again, like I said, it's just for flavor. But I am still going to add onion powder. And I'm not going to measure nothing. I'm just going to go by looks. But I would say about for a pan of this stuff, I would say about a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder. And that should be good. But again, you want to taste it before you take it off the frying pan, all the food out of the frying pan, just to see if you need to add more seasonings of something. Because once you put it in the casserole, you're done. You can always add more to it, but all the mixture will get mixed up and you won't get it all. So I'm using the last of my onion. And like I said, I'm doing big chops. Onion really gives you a lot of flavor to your meat courses. Okay, let's turn the oven back up, the stove back on. But I'm going to put this on a low, so I'm going to put it at about a medium. And see that? I still have some oil that's dribbled over. So that's why I'm glad I put this on the strainer. So now I'm just putting the ground beef. That can go in my sink to wash dishes. And I can use the last of this. And as you can see, here's my little strainer. There's extra grease, and the rest are over is in there. Hubby likes to put a paper towel on the bottom of it just to collect any excess, so it's easy to clean out. So I'm going to let that simmer for just a minute. I'm going to add my garlic and my onion. I'm going to go ahead and use minced onion, not onion powder. Okay, where's my garlic? So there's two cooks in the kitchen. Things get messed up. But hubby says, well, you can have at it. And I go, oh, not yet. When I totally retire, that's when I get half at it. But not until then. Oh, look. I have one of these little leftovers from those meal deliveries. And this is a garlic and onion spice blend. I'm just going to use that. That'll work. Garlic and onion spice, and I don't even need this one at all. I'm just going to pour the whole thing in here. And I'm going to bring you back in just a second. Okay. See, there's that spice blend, the herb spice blend. I got my onions in there. I don't need to do anything else to it. What I want to do right now is I'm sauteing the onions so they get a little bit softer, and also so the ground beef and the spices can absorb some of the flavor of the onion. And you see that, how there's hardly any oil in the pan? You want that so you don't have to eat all that oil to add more calories, because I'm trying to stay away from the calories. But today's breakfast dinner, not too good because I got tortilla chips in it. so let's saute that for a minute, and while that's sauteing, I got my, here's my beans that we will add. Oh, my oven's ready. I need about 1/2 cup of broth. Let's see, 1/2 cup. Okay, and that's the last granules of my thing. I'm going to throw that away because it's not worth saving. But we won't do this yet. Move it over to the side. Then we just let it saute just a bit. Oh, while this is sauteing, I forgot. I can get my casserole dish. So you get your casserole dish and you spray it. So let me go get some spray while this is simmering. I like to spray mine in the sink so if it splatters, it doesn't go all over my counter. Okay. That's good. Let's put the lid. I don't like it when they put little clear lids on these things. They're hard to see. Now I made here's my homemade taco seasoning that I created. I like it. It's 1 tablespoon of this for 1 pound of meat. And we're almost ready. Yep, I think we're ready. Let me turn this off. It's okay to turn the heat off because all this is going to get baked. And you definitely want soft beans out of a can or processed beans if you process yourself. Which in other words is pressure can. My broth. And 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning. I think that's enough. Now let's just give this all a big stir. You could also put in there rice, some cooked rice, like Spanish rice, if you really want to go authentic Tex-Mex. And since we live in Texas, but hubby and I are, like I said, we're really trying to cut back on our weight loss. So we're trying to stay, it's already bad enough that we've got the tortilla chips. So we're cheating on something and cutting back on something else. But it does have a good flavor if you add rice cooked, if you want to use cooked Spanish rice. And like I said, put some bell peppers in here. Some red ones and some yellow ones. They'll be so pretty. But we're going to stay away from that since hubby don't care for that. So while that's just sitting there simmering, I'm going to add my chips. Now I'm not going to crumble them. I'm just going to kind of break them so they're not so big. And because there's a bunch of salt in the chips, you notice I didn't put any salt or pepper in my mix. Because with my taco seasoning, I think that's enough. So some of these chips are going to be big and some of them are going to be little. So you want to get the chips on the bottom. And because there's not a whole lot of liquid in the mix, it's going to be soft, but they're not going to be like soggy where they melt away. Because I don't like soggy bread. I don't like soggy chips. See, I'm gonna leave, see like this piece, I'm leaving those whole. Okay, I think that's good. I'll wash my hands right quick. Alrighty. And hubby we buy the blocks of cheese because it's a lot cheaper, and then we have a KitchenAid mixer that has a tool on it, so we grind up our own cheese. So you don't have to worry about, when you buy that processed cheese in the grocery store, it's got wax in it, and they use that along with the other preservatives. But you know what, I think I'm going to do a little bit more taco seasoning because it doesn't look like it has enough. And I just spilt. Man, I wonder if I ever can make a meal without spilling. I'm a messy cook. Okay. Oh yeah, I definitely think that was all it needed. So I would say 1.5 tablespoons of taco seasoning mix. Okay, so now we're going to spoon this in. Oh, I don't want this hot pan to get on that plastic and then I have a big mess. There's nothing worse than having to scrape your pot or pan from a plastic meltdown. Okay, now I'm just going to layer this smoothly in here. Now if you wanted to, you could have put your cheese and mixed it up before you put it in here, but for me that's a little too much cheese. Again, it's only because we're trying to go the low-cal method. And cheese is okay, but you still gotta, I'm trying to mentally remember, trying to do everything a little bit lower cal. So now I'm going to sprinkle my cheese on top. I'm going to add some of these little broken chips on top. Not a whole lot, but a few. And when you get down to the bottom of the bag, everybody always has, you always have a bunch of these little broken chips on the bottom. Okay, let's put this in the oven. So now it's going to cook for about 30 minutes, and then we'll bring you back for the taste test. We'll bring you back. Well, the timer just went off. And grab a plate before you do the taste test. And turn my oven off. Oh, looky. Doesn't that look good? Okay, oven's turned off. Fan can get me turned off. We'll leave the light on for the video. Let me bring it over. Just going to turn so y'all can see. Alrighty. Let that cool and rest just a few minutes. Get myself a fork. Get hubby a fork. You know what? I'm going to use a spoon. I'm going to use a big spoon. And of course, you can, like I said, you can always put more cheese on top. I choose not to. But you do you. Alrighty. The chips on top are crunchy. You hear that crunch, crunch, crunch? This is going to be mine. I'm going to let it cool. Sorry guys, but I am burning up hot. This is hubby's plate. And while that's cooling off a bit, I'm going to take some of the onions off of there because I know you don't like them. Because we do have to wait a minute, let it cool off. It definitely could be a lot more gooey if we put a whole lot more cheese, but like I said before, I'm going to take his onions off and put them on my plate because I like them. And since they're big enough and they're purple, they're easy to see. Here's another one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. It smells really good. I wish we had smell-o-vision, but we don't. I could definitely smell all the spices and the seasonings in there. So we'll take just a minute. Let me just get all these onions off of his plate. So that's the one good thing about when you have different people in the family who like different things. You can still make it all easy on you. Yeah, it's a little extra work, but remember, I chopped those onions big because I knew I'd be taking them out because he just doesn't care for them. But I still get the onion flavor. I get the onion flavor. Because, well, believe you me, many meals I cook with no onions whatsoever, and you really do miss the taste of the flavor that the onion does with everything else. Okay, so this plate is done. Now let's do my plate. And I don't think we're going to need to add any seasonings or anything onto it, but let's find out. So I got some meat, some beans, my cheese, Definitely do the 1.5 tablespoons of taco seasoning. It made a huge difference. You could really taste the seasonings. Whoops. Now let's get a little piece of the tortilla chip with a piece of the meat. Definitely. I'm still on the roll. Another good meal that tasted good. I'm still waiting for my flop. Believe me, it happens to everybody. You just never know. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We catch you in the next video. Don't forget to hit like. Give me my thumbs up. Post a comment. I would love to know how you made and what all you put in your Tex-Mex beef casserole dish. Thank you. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget, look in the description box for details and recipes and the ingredients of the recipe on this meal. Take care now. Bye-bye.